This is a story of boy meets girl, but you should know up front, this is not a love story.
What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about a nasty, nasty TikTok father by the name of Hayim Nissim Cohen. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but to be honest, with all these details that I'm going to talk about, I don't care. I don't care. I have no respect for this man. If you don't know who he is, he's a nasty TikTok family channel who had 9 kids that he adopted, 9 boys. He adopted them when he was young, which did raise alarms with a lot of people. They was like, why would somebody in their younger 20s want to adopt 9 kids, right? And they thought, oh, he must be a great person. Man, nah. And ain't even I said, hell no. This man's straight nasty, fam. In fact, when I first heard of this story, it made me very sick. Now, Hayim had put up this good image of we take care of the kids, we having fun, right? They only post the highlights. That's not just for them. Most people on social media, including people that are not celebrities, only post highlights. Only the good stuff. None of the bad. None of the bad. And we were going to find out eventually that it was bad once one of the kids made his way to a podcast and was able to express all the horrible things and some of the details. I will say, just a warning, these podcast hosts are not really good at handling this type of situation. They're not good at all at it, actually. It's pretty bad. But what I will say is they did do the right thing and make certain calls after the fact. But let's check out some of the details and stuff that the kid had to say in the fear that he had for him and his brothers.
I know the sergeant personally, and I know the commander.
Okay.
Now, the problem here is it's essentially my word versus all of my brothers. And I don't want to give any information that could... I already know how NCIC and PCIC work. I know how a lot of the different things work. So I don't want to provide too much detailed information. I just want to know what should be done. I don't.
Well, it's not your word against your brothers, because your brothers are not the ones that's doing this to you, right? Is it?
No. But technically, when it comes to the CPS investigations, there has been 8 launched, and all of them were acquitted. So I'll make this is slightly even worse. Since we were little, seeing that we came from CPS, we had very obvious cognitive issues, specifically 3 of my brothers, and they happen to all take psychotic medications. You can see where this is rolling. He has a doctor who was friends with him, and I'm speaking of my father now, and he essentially had us all placed on medication. So hold on, I was just checking to see if my father was coming home because I thought that there was a car. So essentially what I'm saying is anytime we make a CPS investigation, he'll either bribe us or he'll just directly scare us. And 2 of my brothers are 7 and 8. So there's no chance. We do not have cameras inside. I'm smart enough to take a burner phone, which is what this phone is operating through. It's just Wi-Fi. My dad doesn't even know I have it. But anyway, I'm about to be 18, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I have a driver's license, which is valid, and the thing about it is I'm not allowed to have it.
Let me ask you a question. Where are you at right now? Can you just leave and go somewhere? Like, if I gave you a safe place to go, will you be able to go there?
Not entirely sure.
Why?
Because all of my brothers are here.
Baby, listen. Listen to me, though. You need to get your brothers help, too. You need to get out of here so you can help your brothers. I was raped, too, when I was young. And you know something? I wish that I was more brave to do something different. Because then you have to worry about the fact that if you don't talk about it, he could be doing that to your little brothers. They're 7 and 8 years old. You don't want, geez, like anything could happen. If he's doing that to other kids, he could bring you guys diseases, anything.
I'm aware, but I'm just waiting in order. I'm essentially waiting until I'm 18 because I actually have a timer, like a quite literal timer.
When you say
February
rape,
16th.
do you mean rape or do you mean molest? Like, is he actually penetrating?
No, yes, I'm aware of
Oh
the
my
difference.
God.
I turn 18 in 16 days, 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 11, 10, 9, 8, 7,
This is really bothering
6,
me right now.
5,
Not even.
4, 3, 2, 1, 16 minutes, 1 hour, and 16 days. The devil is a liar.
Let me ask you this. Have you been to the police?
I go every single week.
And they don't do anything?
I haven't told them.
Or so why did you go to the police if you didn't tell them?
Well, I didn't go to the police. I go because I was put into the program by my father. It's just another addition as to he can say, my kids are perfectly okay, which has been done before.
No. This is different. If you go to the police, they will do something.
If they have information.
That you are the
information, babes.
Wouldn't they need a warrant for anything?
No.
And they will keep you safe. They're not going to let you go back to that house, and they're going to pull every kid out of there, which needs to happen. And he needs to be in jail. You need.
So I give PC.
What?
Yes, they give you PC. Like they're going to put you inside of a placement so that you can be safe. Yes. Right, Rafi?
Yeah. Once they pull you out from where you live, you can't go back there. They're not gonna bring you back there.
And they won't bring no other child in there neither, especially with that with these allegations until a full investigation is done. And it's not going to be.
There was 8 full investigations done.
Okay, but
not once have they removed this.
Listen to this though, because you're saying there was 8. Okay, because now this is the thing, and you're saying that because I just want to make sure that everything. So who told him that people were being touched? Was it somebody else told him that? Why was there an investigation that happened if you never told him anything?
My other brothers have. One of them ran away and was returned by the constable, and then the constable stated that there was allegations made, and CPS came the next day. They took us to the child assessment center, where not just me, but 7 of my other brothers testified against the word of my other brother, which essentially ruled it out. They also decided that he was not cognitive mind, so they gave him even more medications. Currently, he is prescribed Latuda at 80 milligrams. I'll have to check. They're all kept in this bag.
What state are you in?
I don't want to provide that.
So how are you expect us to give you help, babe? I don't know what to do right now. Like, listen, we're not going to do anything that's not good. We actually want to help you.
I'm aware, but
you have to go to the police. There's no way that police was told about this, and you're still in the house.
No, the officers were not told about this because the mask that we put on is damn near invincible.
Okay, so I would like to say something to clarify. If you can correct me if I'm wrong, but so basically you're saying that you and your brother, one of your brothers testified, but you all testified against it, and you're telling us
they had it thrown out.
Okay, so you're telling us that it had been thrown out, and now you're saying that you guys can't say anything about it because you guys can't agree upon trying to, tell your not your tell the police. Can you guys agree?
And not for nothing,
the major
tell the
problem.
police the same thing that you're telling us, that your dad bribes you every time that you guys want to go, every time that he does something bad, he's bribing you to get back at, your good graces. You need to tell all of that, because this is not right. And what if you don't make it to your 18th birthday? You're counting down to it. What if he feels like, well, once he turns 18 years old, he's gonna leave or something? If he's this sneaky to be raping you from 11 to 17, what makes you think that he's not gonna do anything else? He sounds like he's definitely not a good person at all.
Well, the thing is, I live like 3 minutes from one of the substations, so I have. Okay.
Well, that's not protecting you, baby, because that's not.
I have him basically semi-scared of me, at least for the instance of I have sort of kind of gotten caught telling other people online, and he got terrified because I told him the truth. I have physical evidence, but the thing is, his lawyer stated that any evidence presented past the point of his trial, which has already passed, would be ruled nullified based on you can't try a person twice for the same crime.
Well, not for nothing, baby. I'm so sorry, because
No. Hold on, wait. It's not the same crime if he still does it.
Correct, but the evidence that I have is presented for the crime that was before stated, which was sexual indecency with a child on 8 counts.
No, listen to me. When was this trial, whatever, that this happened? When did you have the trial?
I don't want to give too much information. Again, sorry.
Well, you see, that's what I'm trying to help you, but you're not giving me no information. But I do know that whatever.
It sounds like you don't really want help, but you just want to vent, and that's like I don't know what to do at that point. But
no. It sounds any evidence. You cannot use it for an old trial. That's correct. But if he went on and did it again, that's new. That's not old. You understand what I'm telling you? If I rob you today, and they say, or whatever, like they say the same thing, I can't use the evidence for me robbing you now. That's fine. But if I rob you again tomorrow, that's a whole new case. That's a whole new case. That's all new evidence. That's new that you can use.
So I guess the major point that I was trying to get to in the very beginning was because I know I asked what should be done to him. I'm asking more of should I basically. I also am afraid of retaliation. Like if I'm getting pinned for retaliation, because one of the major things that happens here that I don't even want to say it. I'll type it. Basically, he's going to just say, no, it was you.
You're basically getting manipulated if you keep continuing to be manipulated.
When he makes us with each other, he makes y'all have sex with each other, you and your brothers?
Yes.
We asked you that earlier.
You did?
Yeah, and you said no.
I didn't hear you ask that. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, because I asked you, I said, okay, is it your brothers that's doing it? The live is...
Oh, no. My brothers weren't the ones that were doing it. It was my father making us.
Yeah, that...
No, let me tell you something. You can go to the police. This has nothing to do with the old case. If it happened again after the trial. If it happened after the trial, that's a whole new case.
Okay,
that's a whole new everything. You can go.
So I do plan on going to the police. That's why I have a counter. And when I'm there, I have one final bit of legality. I will tell you the state I'm in. I'm in the state of Texas. And
oh my God, they
I'm
will
not
fry
sure.
him inside of the state of Texas. They will fry him. They'll probably have him on a death penalty for goodness sakes. The state of Texas is overly commonwealth.
This is sick. In fact, it's disturbing. He was able to get away with this for so long. He even had like one of those exchange students who came in and after being harmed was too afraid to even tell people because he thought that program would end. And even after finding this out, the court systems decided to still allow this man to be around these children. Because what? Injuries? Fake ass injuries? Look at this video of him in the courtroom. Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way he's not lying his behind off.
Good morning, Your Honor. We had just visited Mr. Cohen. I wanted to warn the court that Mr. Cohen is complaining of being ill this morning. Just wanted to let the court know. We're going to, of course, proceed. I just wanted the court to know that he had mentioned that. All right? So, thank you.
And Judge, I'd also like to invoke the rule so if at the 10,000 of you that is going to testify in this hearing, it asks to please step out of the courtroom while other people testify.
Thank you.
I'm ready, Jeff. In file number 1650641, State of Texas versus Hayim Cohen. President is Mr. Cohen and his attorney. President is John Oswald, representing the State of Texas. Can I apologize, sir?
Nicholas Toops.
Nicholas
Toops.
So,
Toups.
and Mr. Paul Johnson, representing Mr. Cohen. Are both sides ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
You are, Your Honor.
And the state has informed that they want to invoke the rule. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
So the rule has been invoked, and obviously both parties know what the rule is. So if y'all have any witnesses that are going to testify in this hearing, they must exit the courtroom and please admonish them regarding the particulars of the rule. Both parties? Okay. And with that said, let's proceed. The state of Texas has filed a motion to revoke the bond and deny bail pursuant to Article 1, Section 11B of the Texas Constitution, based on a new law violation, which the state is alleging committed the offense of injury to a child, filed in cause number 1808490 against a minor child identified by his initials YYC. In addition, the state alleges that the defendant misrepresented his health status in court on numerous court settings, as well as in a hearing held on 1/27/2023. The state argued that these misrepresentations violated his bond conditions to appear in court, and therefore the court was unable to ensure the public safety and his appearing in court at a future setting. This is signed by the state of Texas, Oswald. Are both sides ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
The state is ready, Your Honor.
State, please, Lawyer, proceed, Mrs. Evans.
Yes, Judge. Prior to the first witness, Your Honor, I'd like to offer in certified copies, all labeled States Exhibit 1 through States Exhibit 13. They include the indictment. State Exhibit 1 is the indictment of the cause that we're moving forward on, which is 1650641. State Exhibit 2 is the bond conditions that were put in place on October 31st of 2019 by this court on cause number 1650641. And then State Exhibit 3 is the original motion to revoke the defendant's bond, which you granted, Judge, on December 4th of 2020. State Exhibit 4 through State Exhibit 13 are the complaints in the new 10 cases that have been filed.
Your Honor, just one second. Your Honor, we're going to object to sections 4 through 6 and 8 through 12 as not relevant to this hearing. These offense dates are before the bond conditions were finalized and filed in this case. Object to State's Exhibit 2 because that bond was revoked and therefore that's not relevant to this hearing. And yes, that's correct, Your Honor. Those bond conditions are not relevant to this hearing because they were revoked. The bond conditions that were filed on 5/4/2022 would be the ones that are relevant to this hearing.
Judge, the bond conditions in State's Exhibit 2 were the ones that were also put back in place after he was released from custody after your bond revocation, which is shown in State's Exhibit 3. And then all of the other clause numbers are just for the court's reference with regards to the cases being filed. All of the case in which we're proceeding on today was indicted when all of those offenses were charged in complaints. So that's why I'm offering all of these documents for the court's reference.
Sometimes your objection is overruled. So the units 1 through 13 will be admitted over objection.
Judge, would you like me to present them to you this time? Judge, just to address the issue of the one bond conditions to the next, the reason why the one bond conditions that we have in place on October 31st of 2019, you did revoke those in November of 2019. He was then placed into custody for a series of days in December of 2019. The reason why we did not put those conditions in place from November of 2019 until May of 2022 is because he never came to court throughout that time. And you know that because you were here. And his defense counsel approached and he was never present. And the reason why he was never present from about February 1st of 2020 up until February the 11th of this year was because he was reportedly on hospice. We then had a hearing on January 27th of 2023. But prior to that hearing, his defense counsel somehow got him to sign those bond conditions, never him being present. So that's why he was not on bond conditions the entire time, because he was purportedly sick and couldn't be here. And on January 27th of 2023, we had another hearing with regards to the status of his health. Throughout that entire year, we requested through his defense counsel, because he was never present, for him to provide documentation of his diagnostic paperwork and results from a medical professional who stated that he was terminal from 2 diseases. He never provided that. He still has not provided that. And that was January 27th of 2023, when you and I were here in court on that hearing, and he appeared via Zoom. And I would like for the court to remember the fact that he appeared bedridden. He, in fact, coughed up, had his son sitting next to him, and acted as if he couldn't even sit up in a wheelchair during a court hearing, which was the first time he appeared for more than a year on this case. After that was when we got the information with regards to the podcast. At that point in time, CBS went in and we
I object to the state testifying about what happened. None of this is in evidence. We have heard none of this from a witness, and it's not in the court record that I think.
Well, I've been present all of the years, so I know the history of the case.
So the court will know that, but I would object to her.
I know that, and she's just reminding the court, but I do remember the history of the case, and just for argument. But
So we are here now on his second violation. Whatever bond conditions were put in place, he is very aware that he's not, and so is pretty much the entire community, they're not supposed to sexually abuse children or physically abuse them. And we have proof that on February the 8th, 2 days before he executed the search warrant, after he appeared in front of this court to not be able to even come to his feet or come to court, that he was up on his feet beating a child with a belt. And no matter what that officer stated, he helped sign those charges into place. And it's not whether his opinion or not, it's the court's opinion, whether or not we reach preponderance of the evidence in that case for injury to a child. And I would argue to you after you watch that video that that is not normal discipline of a child. It's not. hitting a child about the chest, hands, and feet area as they cower on a couch and scream because they didn't perform on a cell phone or a TikTok video or whatever he was trying to have that child do is not typical discipline. The child screaming indicates pain. The child subsequently verified that pain in his own forensic interview. That is an injury to a child. That in and of itself revokes the bond, and it should then be denied bond on the case in which we are here. But I then would argue to you that that video shows so much more to this court about the safety of the community. While I agree that that child is not the child in cause number 1650641, that child is a child of our community, and the safety of the community, including that child, should be considered by this court. I would then argue the fact that he has misrepresented his health and his ability to stand on his feet and get to certain places and be here in court, and he's done that for more than a year, is shown very directly in that video. He has misrepresented to this court his ability to function, to stand, to be present, and that misrepresentation has kept him from being in court on this case and the ability to move forward on it for more than a year. That in and of itself is an issue of the safety of the community. And I would beg the court to see that as his inability to appear in court unless he is actually in custody. So the state would argue that we have met our burden, and we would request that you revoke his bond in cause number 1650641 for the second time and deny him a bond in that case. And then in all other cause numbers, we would either ask for no bond, but if the court's not willing to do that, request very high bonds in all the other cases.
After reviewing the evidence in this case, I know you all are newer to the case, but I do know the full history of the case. And this court has asked repeatedly for records regarding your client's health. And I received records, however, they were not clear. So I asked for testimony, and I have never been provided with a definitive answer whether your client is in hospice care or not. And based on what I've received, I don't believe that there's ever been an actual treating physician that diagnosed him as terminally ill. And I had a hearing, and every doctor or every person that testified was basing it on some records that in the end came from the defendant's own history of him having a terminal illness, but yet I have not received any, after asking both sides for the records, which I've reviewed. I've had the state review them, the defense had an opportunity to review them as well. I never received an indication that an actual physician has stated that he has a terminal illness. And I also do remember, and it was great theatrics that day, but yet on this video, he's up and down, able to discipline. I did not play with my bond conditions. And I do believe that the state has proved by preponderance the allegations in the injury to a child case. And I also believe that you have tried to misguide this court with respect to your illness. You will be held at zero bond. I'm not going to give you another bond until this. We're going to try this case as fast as I can. How long is it going to take?
Judge, we have expedited with going through our crimes database, all of the other evidence. So I'm thinking that's probably going to take a couple of months. I would say the beginning of the next year.
Now, before you go thinking that's the end of the story, it isn't. You see, in 2018, Hayim had applied to become a part of a program that would allow him to house foreign exchange students. For him to take part in this, he would have had to have been background checked, but the only issue was he lied about his background. In the end, he was given the green light. Towards the end of 2018, a 16-year-old student from Spain was housed with the Cohens. He said the issue started within the first month of his arrival. It began when Hayim started to make a big issue out of small problems. And when this happened, he told the boy he would need to make him happy. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, he sexually abused him. The abuse went on for roughly 8 months before the student approached teachers at his school to tell them what had been happening. The boy was removed from the home, and Hayim was arrested and charged on 1 count of indecency with the child in the spring of 2019. The boy told police he didn't tell anyone to begin with because he didn't want to lose a year of his education and wanted to complete the exchange program. But in the end, he had to come forward. You do have to question why the children weren't removed from Hayim's care after all the abuse continued after the 2019 charge. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he was out on bail and continued to abuse his adopted sons. And that's pretty much where we are today, nearly 1 year on. This time around, he's staying locked up though until further court hearings. It isn't clear at this moment in time if the case will go to a trial, but I guess over this next year or so, the case will finally be wrapped up.
This man was allowed to get away with a lot of stuff, faking injuries and saying how good he was, and then even using the shield of religion. Like putting that in front of him to make it seem like you can't call me out. I'm a saint. I'm a saint. Why would you call me out? I'm amazing. Like, fam, no, you not. No, you not. A lot of people use emotional manipulation and good deeds to make themselves seem like good people. I think I've been calling people out like this for a long time. I've been canceled to oblivion because I've called people out like this just for years later to find out that I was right and not a single person acknowledge it. But that's okay, because I don't talk about stuff like this for the credit. I don't talk about stuff like this because I think it's going to make my channel do well. It's something I really want to speak about because of my background as me growing up in group homes and being around kids that had some of these experiences and received no help. And they received no help at all whatsoever. I'm not trying to be the voice for victims. I'm not trying to be a saint. But one thing I am is extremely honest and really good at debating as well. So I'm going to look into more cases like this and more stuff. If you guys are interested, share the video. Let it be known what's going on, how the system failed these children. They failed these boys, bro. The system failed these boys. A podcast had to help. Insane. Tell me what you think in the comment section. If you got more stories similar that you think need to get out there, let me know. Let me know. I don't mind looking into this stuff. It needs to be spoken about. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed watching the video. Now, if you have some extra time, can you do me a favor? Check out my music. I rap, I sing, and I make beats. All of that should be linked in the description. Also, if you want to watch me live stream, you can check me out on BX Beast Boy Live. That's another YouTube channel. It should be linked to my homepage. And you can check me out on Twitch and Rumble. I'm streaming on all these platforms, man. Trying to just get out there. Also, if you want to support me, you can sign up for my memberships on my channel, as well as my Patreon for as low as $1. You get exclusive access to a bunch of videos early before you even get it on YouTube, as well as videos that's not ever going to be on YouTube. Stuff that actually got me suspended and banned. It's kind of my anti-cancel culture fund for BX Beast Boy. You know what I mean? And it also helps me get resources for certain video essays and things of that nature. Check that out if you're able to. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and join my Discord if you are able to, man. The link should be somewhere within my description or somewhere on my channel. I would really love to see you there, man. That's where you get a chance to talk to me and the rest of my supporters, man. I appreciate you guys. Bang Gang out.